what employee 47 did every day, of every month, of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-burning, Stanley relished every moment that the...
How do we get the epilogue, guys? That's something that's been well confused for a bit. I got all the collectibles. That's the thing. I got all the collectibles.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could
But
it mean?
still...
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Still no epilogue. That's the thing. So I don't know what to do. But this is my second Stanley Parable episode today.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley...
Where is the epilogue at?
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Yes.
You have to find the epilogue, guys.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first...
Also, by the way, it did save. It did save the Stanley Parable too, so. Very nice. It did save it for us. I'm wondering, did it save the collectibles?
It's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
It did. It did save the collectible. Wait, I wonder, can we go down here? Wait, guys, I want to experiment.
In his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do,
Well,
Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
well, that's one thing very confusing.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
We need to find out. Because there's no more bonus content.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever.
Yes.
Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura
what?
of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This
what?
broom closet believes it deserves the bucket.
It does.
I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the coming to a staircase? Stanley and the bucket walked up.
I just cut him off, and he didn't even care. Yeah, from the looks of it, it's saved. It did save. What is in here? Elevator? Guys, what is this? Not right now. Later. And now we're going for a trophy called 88888.
Manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
Yeah, wait, we got the trophy.
Darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos? It would be with him always.
We're stuck.
The bucket would, and he knew it.
Let's go back to the boss's show place. How do we get the epilogue? That is the reason I'm losing my mind over this.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What's the thing on my screen? There was just like one of those circle things. Why was that on my screen?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley stepped into the broom closet.
But there was nothing there.
So he turned around and got back.
Guys, does anyone know why the epilogue thing isn't showing up?
To his boss's office.
Is anyone in chat? Can anyone in chat help me? Because, like, I have no idea. Do I need the bucket? Shoot, I need the bucket. Why was it working without the bucket? Why won't it work without the bucket?
All of his co-workers were gone.
Okay,
What could
enough.
it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
Yes.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
The bucket is, like, brilliant.
Still
Best feature in this game. Actually, no, the broom closet's even better.
But now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd found Stanley. Can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you?
You won't take my bucket.
Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Like, the bucket is our main character. The bucket got that main character energy. Yeah, dude, you can only use the bucket to open it. Wait, can I go up? Dude. Which way do I go? I don't know. I'm just going in. Let's go up. There's more. This music is amazing. Oh, whoa. Apparently this is not how you do it, and there's another ending about buckets. and we're gonna do that because I can't figure out how in the world do we get the epilogue?
Stanley. He was sure of it.
Something is. Well, how do you? The epilogue should be showing up. I can get all the collectibles.
Spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meat? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room. No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do. Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about it.
I'm just following this guide,
He was
guys.
firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked. In here, said the bucket. Go into this dark room over here. Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Okay.
Now pick up the phone, said the bucket. Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Is this the same thing we did earlier?
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and
What?
his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And
What?
then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Where's the bucket? There it is. Hello, Stanley. It's me, your bucket, please.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley's hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head. Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Well, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it would ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location.
You're so mean.
That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
How dare you?
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and
Nope,
listened
it's all
to.
bucket now.
All he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
What?
It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just...
I went the wrong way, guys.
Bucket, this cold, empty bucket. This sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
Yeah.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another. Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
What?
I'm having feelings for the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley.
No.
I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Go back to work, Stanley. What?
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the other. Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around.
But
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt...
it's crazy how calm he is all of a sudden.
...telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Is there a shred the bucket ending?
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else.
Yeah, this is where I was supposed to go.
Good, said
But then I got a new ending, so that's okay.
all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do. Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact.
Ooh, okay, we made
He was
it.
convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Here we go.
No, stop. Look there on the
No
wall.
buckets past
There's a
this.
sign right there. It says, no buckets past this.
Let me in.
Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my
Do not
goodness,
stand on
I
this
think we
phone.
have to do
I can't, I want to.
something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly.
Uh-oh.
So much of the impact of the story has been
I heard this was an ending. I don't know what this ending is, though.
is and isn't a
He's probably gonna restart it right here.
Step in here for a moment.
What? What is this, guys? What ending is this?
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll
What?
tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
Bruh.
Item 1. Is
I don't
this
think this is the epilogue. No, that's not bucket.
correct? It is a
What?
hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
What? What?
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
No.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not the actual bucket.
What is this, bro?
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
Yeah.
Correct. This is
What are the odds I'm getting all of them right? Yo, what's up, Patrick? Does anyone know why the epilogue isn't showing up for me, and why am I doing is this a bucket?
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Of course that's a bucket!
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's a machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on.
Yeah, I remember you, Patrick, man. Does anyone know why the epilogue doesn't show up for me?
Is this a bucket? Correct.
What?
This is a bucket.
He just acknowledged the fact he didn't know if that was a bucket or not, so he was asking me, and now he's calling it a bucket. Of course that's a
Item
bucket.
6. Is this a bucket?
No, that's not.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
What? What?
Item. Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. Should be around here somewhere.
That's not a bucket.
Yes, thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing
What do you
isn't a
think it
bucket,
was good,
that makes
YouTube?
it
What?
sound like I'm saying
What,
everything is a
Patrick?
bucket, which of course is not true. Unless, is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you
What?
trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out.
Oh, this game's the Stanley Parable. It's on. If you got PlayStation Plus, it's available. It's one of the strangest games I've ever played. It is so weird. You can look up the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. If you can watch my series, and you'll understand how weird it is. Okay, guys.
Perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago, I could answer these questions with confidence, and yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us
He didn't know
know
if.
what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay.
No.
Here
No.
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything...
Everything's a bucket. You just deleted the whole game.
Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea.
Yes.
Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you,
Bruh.
Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful.
No dip, Sherlock.
We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful.
No, I'm not pleased. You just deleted the entire game.
That we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll
Yeah.
know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a
Yeah,
person.
they're gonna go
All right,
crazy.
Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. Hold up. Where is the epilogue, guys? Where in the world is the epilogue? Guys, I'm so deeply
All his
confused.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to
The
go to
bucket.
room. The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together.
Yes, sir. Okay, but now I need to know why the epilogue. Why does it not work? Hold up, guys. I need to look at something real quick. Okay, so I'm gonna rename this episode, guys, to Bucket. And I'm gonna start a new one. Because apparently you just have to keep closing the game until it shows up. So that's what I'm gonna do. If you're watching this as a normal video, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you all if you choose to